Top 5, a show where we count things down from number 5 to number 1. And hey, maybe we've done this topic before, maybe not. Maybe our answers will be the same, maybe not. But hey, this is Top 5. Someone pointed out that we did a Top 5 that was similar to one we did like 5 years ago. And the interesting thing was we had most of the same things. You and I, Matthew, only had one thing that was new, but everything else was the same, but in a different order.
Yep. I think you had 2 new and I had 1 new or something like that. But
yes.
Even so, at least our stories are consistent.
Well, then this week, let's see if we can do something that maybe is a horse of a different color by talking about the top 5 colors.
Aha!
See what I did there? Rodrigo's here too. Hey, Rodrigo.
Hey, guys.
Why don't we start with you, Rodrigo, with your number 5 color of all time?
Okay. My number 5 color of all time is a really good color. It is a pleasing color to look at. It is a bright color and a cheerful color. It is, of course, cyan.
Oh.
A member of the blue family. It is very cheerful. And when it's in posted form, I don't forget things.
There you go. I agree with you on that. My number 5 also falls into the blue category. I have a Jeep Liberty. I've been driving it for years. It's my favorite car that I've ever owned for many reasons. But one of them is because one day I was at the gas station parking lot and I was coming out and a woman was getting out of her car and she goes, "Oh my goodness, what color is your car?" And I just look at her and I go, "Midnight blue?" And she's like, "Oh, I've just never seen a color like that. That's gorgeous." And then just walked on. And midnight blue is definitely one of my favorite colors. It's just that dark, dark blue that from one angle I could see where maybe she was like, "Oh, is that black? Is it blue?" I can't really tell what that is because some angles you look at it, it looks really, really dark blue or black. And then from other angles you look at it, it looks like a lighter blue. But on this car, it looks great. Midnight blue is just that dark blue color that I love.
Nice.
Matthew, what do you have for 5?
My number 5 is also the color of my car. And I have, this is a conversation that I've had. Shut up. You're thinking of a previous car. I have a lot of conversations with people about my perception of color, which is a little weird, and the names that I use for colors, because I don't always name a color the same thing as other people, because sometimes my yellows are oranges and sometimes my oranges are yellows. And in rare cases, my oranges turn green and blue. But that's because I have really, really freaky, messed up eyes. And it's, eventually they're just going to pop out of my head. So it's perfectly fine. But one color that I'm always good with, about, I'm going to say like 9 years ago now, we went to the local buy a car and we'll scalp you for the next 10 years joint. And they had a bunch of just sedans on the lot. And they're like, you have been cleared for your credit to have any one of these sedans. I'm like, I want that one. He's like, I don't have a title on that one. I'm like, well, call me when you do. He's like, what about the black one? I'm like, I want that one. He's like, what about that one? I want that one. So finally, he's like, what is it about that one? I'm like, I like that it is that color. What is that color? He says, that color is Merlot. It's this deep wine red kind of color. It's got overtones of purple, but it's not a purple. It is just this deep metallic red. It's the most amazing color. The car itself, fallen apart. Literally fallen apart. But there's no rust on it, Stephen.
That you know of, Matthew.
I drive it like once or twice a week. When it gets warm, I'll drive it. Never, but when it's cold.
Wine is a pretty color. I do like me a wine color, but it is partly, it's not on my number 4 list. I'll tell you that.
A deep red Merlot.
I will tell you what my number 4 is right after we hear about Rodrigo's number 4.
Rodrigo's number 4.
My number 4 is a great color.
Is it?
It is. It is a bright color. It is a cheerful color.
Yeah.
It is a color that sometimes when you eat a beet and it falls on your shirt, you can't get it back out. I'm talking about magenta.
Ooh.
It is, some would say it's a red. Some would say it's like in the rose family. It's hard to tell. Colors are very subjective, and people are always trying to categorize them. But 100 years ago, nobody knew what orange was. So there you go. My number 4, magenta.
I love going to the paint aisle at stores and just looking at all the chip colors, because just when you think you might find a color that is like, oh, this is the perfect color, there's one right next to it that is maybe a subtle shade darker or lighter, or has another color mixed in with it to give it just that different hue. And I did that the other day with the color green. I was looking up greens. I was like, oh, I know I want something that's like a dark green, but not too dark, and not evergreen color, but not a Kelly green color. I need something that's kind of in between. And I found it. It's palm leaf green.
Ooh.
If you've ever seen a really healthy palm leaf, it's got that kind of darkish green color, but it's also got some little like yellow, some yellowish green in there as well. That's a color that, boy, I'm going to paint a room in that palm leaf green. It's almost the color of our current master bedroom. It's just a little bit darker, but palm leaf green, I do love me that color. It feels very natural, very outdoorsy. And I do love me some outdoorsy colors. So palm leaf green, my number 4.
That's cool.
I've always thought that a great job for me, like I've always wanted to have this job, was like color namer. Because they always do that. They're always like rebranding colors and doing things like that. So if anybody knows how I can land that job, and I could do both. I could do like standard colors. I could be like, oh yeah, that's like a scarab green. Or I could do like, like makeup colors. Like that's a scare your mom purple. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about.
Right. I'm with you.
Yeah. No, cool. Matthew, what is your number 4?
My number 4, as so many things in my life, first kind of popped up in the realm of comic books.
Mm-hmm.
Many, many years ago, back when I was in high school, I bumped into this weird off-brand independent book called Hero Alliance, which went through like 5 publishers.
Yeah, it did.
Before it ended up at Innovation in the 90s and eventually just kind of, fell apart as the comics industry did in 1995, 1996. But one of the characters was a character named Powerhouse. And Powerhouse had a costume that was two-tone gray with accents of this deep, dark, purpley color. It's a color that's alternately occasionally known as Phoenician purple or Tyrian purple. But in my mind, it's always going to be just royal purple. It's red enough to be red, but it's not blue enough to be blue. And it ends up being something just like almost that perfect mix in between them. It is a deep purpley purple color. It's a gorgeous color, and my wife never wears it anymore. But she has eyeshadow that is this deep, deep purple color. And, she's like, oh, it makes me look like a hooker from the 80s. And I'm like, well, what's wrong with that? And then, of course, I get yelled at. But that's not the point either. I really, for some reason, like it feels like it is purple in its purest form, where it's clearly not any of the colors that make it up. It is its own thing. And you could like wear it, on your banner and your flag as you're going off and riding off to fight the dragons in Westeros or whatever the hell they do. I don't watch the show. But
no, you're right.
Royal purple or, Phoenician purple. I pick these things up from the internet. I have this zeitgeist sense is what it is.
Oh, you have that color. You have that color a day thing that the guy posts a color a day.
I follow every color at every color. Yeah. And occasionally, if one really strikes my fancy, I will retweet it, but it's almost always the reds and the dark blues and the purples.
Yeah.
I will retweet an ugly green. I think it's important to get those out there.
Yeah. Not palm leaf green though, because that's a beautiful color.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean like a pea
Richard
soup.
Marx green, kind of a
like a dirty olive.
Oh, right, yeah, dirty olives, they're awful.
Like left the cheese in the back of the fridge a little too long.
Moldy green cheese color. That's the worst.
Yeah, that's bad.
Rodrigo, what do you have for your number 3?
My number 3 is a great color. It's a bright color. It's a color that makes people happy when they look at it. It's a color that many people love, and I did mention Post-its earlier, and it is the classic Post-it color. This color is, of course, yellow. Yellow is a really fantastic color, and I'm talking about that sort of like bright canary type yellow. As you guys know, lots of things are yellow, like lemons.
Mm-hmm.
And it is. I enjoy splashes of yellow in my clothing, although I usually don't dress in yellow because I don't think I look very good in it. But that's just like a personal choice, as opposed to magenta, which just compliments me amazingly. So yeah, my number. What are we on? Three. My number 3, yellow.
All right, my number 3. Little patriotic here. This is a color that's going to start popping up in certain parts of the country now that we're moving into the fall, or we are in the fall, or maybe it's the winter and we're talking about the fall. Depends on when the show gets released, really.
Hello, future people.
It may be the summer of 2019, and this episode was just returned.
It could be, but...
Hello, future purple.
But... I do love me maple leaf red. When the maple leaves turn red in the fall, they get that fiery color going. Ooh, I loves me that color red. And that color red specifically. I know that the people are like, oh, there's a cherry red, or there's a Spider-Man red, or there's an apple red. But nope, give me that maple leaf red each and every time, and I will color the walls and color the world and paint the town maple leaf red.
That rusty red, yeah.
Yeah. Matthew, what's your number 3?
Which is weird because they're blue.
What's that?
The Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh, there you go.
I don't know hockey, but they did superheroes of the NHL mascots, so I now know all 30 of the NHL mascots.
Oh, well, congratulations.
Yeah, I know sports now. My number 3 actually gets me in a lot of trouble because there are semanticists in the world who want to tell me that I'm wrong.
Oh, I know a girl named Semanticist.
Yeah, Semanticist. Yeah, she's our DM on Critical Hit right now.
You can't fool me. There's no such a thing as a Semanticist.
No, you're thinking of the sanity clause. But people like to say to me, that's not really a color. And depending on whether they're an artist or a TV schmuck, they either want me to know that it's all the colors or it's none of the colors. And in either case, they're talking about my number 3 color. And it is a color because and my color is black. Black is none more black is what it is. I actually, I myself.
You have like when it comes to black, I mean, are you talking about like 000 on the RGB scale? Or are you talking about like, do you like a little, a chalkboard black or maybe a little?
I'm talking like a dark, contrasty super, not like invisible. Not like
super
that black that looks like there's a hole in the world kind of black.
Oh, okay.
But like Sarah is part Native American, has really, really dark hair. And so when we dye her hair, sometimes it won't take. And she'll get bored with color and she'll be like, all right, we're just going to go jet black. And she has this deep jet black hair. And it's just like, yeah, I'm good with that. That's good. I like that. So you get to a point where it's just like, black is good. I like the black. And a lot of my wardrobe is black because apparently when you go to a big and tall shop, you have an option of 3 or 4 things. And among those things are, for some reason, golf shirts with golf prints. I played golf once in my life, and Carl nearly killed me with a drive. And it was weird because I was actually behind him. And black, slimming black colors. I have a lot of, black pants and black shirts. And I was a ninja in high school briefly. You go through jobs. But I just like something about it when you can get like a black coat over something that has a lot of color to it. I had a black car at one point until the paint started peeling. But yeah, black is really awesome and it works with anything. You can pair a black with reds, with pinks, with yellows. About the only thing you can't get away with pairing it with is a slightly other black in some cases.
Well, and that's why you don't put bleach in with your colors there, Matthew.
Right. When you get that greenish black.
You got one that's a really like black overcoat with a black shirt that's been bleached just a little bit. So it's like not really gray, not really black. Like, and then you've got your black pants with all the white, with the white threads running through it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then your black high tops.
I had some black cheese, and being that color, it tasted like pretty much
one of those Burger King sandwiches.
Yeah,
because Burger King
tasted
did
like
that.
Pretty much any other cheese, but it was this. It felt like it had some sort of charcoaly richness that it actually didn't, because it was literally just cheese painted black.
Yeah, because I think they paint it with squid ink.
Yeah, that could be it. Either squid ink or I don't know, powdered Supreme Court justice. I think.
Let's move on to Rodrigo's number 2.
You dry it. Then you get out a really big pestle.
My number 2 is also black.
I kind of saw that coming.
Yeah, as you might have imagined, little inside joke for all your.
We knew what you were doing there, brother.
Yeah, for all you guys who are like broadcasting or printing, I guess.
Yeah.
Because
CMYK, the K stands for black for some reason.
Hey, I'll give you guys a critical hit inside. Do you guys remember that thing where you guys went and there was like this weird dimension where there were a bunch of dragons?
Mm-hmm.
Like sky dragons.
Oh, yeah.
4 dragons, and the dragons are CMYK dragons. There's like a yellow dragon, a magenta dragon, a blue dragon, and a black dragon.
Oh.
Always got to get that in, right?
Yep.
That's cool.
So yeah, my number 2, black. Black is not a bright color, but it does make up about I would say probably about 50% of my wardrobe is black.
Well, 50% of my wardrobe is currently black.
Yeah, which is
extra large.
It has become a problem because I live with a dog who sheds a lot, and her is light. It's a gray dog, like a light gray dog. So I put on my black shirt and I go to work and I'm like, goodbye, dog. And I like walk out of the house and I look like shag carpeting. So
I have the same problem with my cat. He'll jump up on me while I'm laying down, and then I'll stand up to go somewhere and my shirt is just all cat hair color.
Yeah, my dog is a shedder, and she's particularly a nervous shedder, and she's like super scared of like the fire alarm. And one time she was hanging out and the fire alarm went off, so she like jumps into my lap, and then the fire alarm stops and she goes off, and I swear like I looked like even more like a Yeti than usual, I guess.
You left out another dog.
Yeah, I just like, I'm like, this is a dog's worth of hair. How do you still have hair?
Right. Well, Widget's cat is white except for the parts of him that are black. So no matter what you're wearing, the little bastard can come and shed on you.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I think he does it on purpose.
Of course they do. He's a cat.
Yeah. If you're wearing white clothes, he'll hit you with his tail and his side. And if you're wearing black clothes, he'll flap at you with his legs, which are white. And I'm just like, you little son of a bitch.
Chameleons have these chromatophores in their skin that can sense light and thus turn the right color to blend into their surroundings. This cat probably has the right things to shed the right color.
You're saying that Mr. Dots is part chameleon.
I'm saying cats will evolve on the spot to ruin your day.
Yes, they will. All right. My number 2 kind of gets into the fall colors as well. In fact, my last 3 colors are kind of fallish colors. But my number 2, nothing I like better than going out in the fall, right around mid-October, and going to a pumpkin patch and getting that nice, bright pumpkin orange and setting it next to my maple leaf reds and taking pictures of that stuff. It just looks so gorgeous to me. I've got a picture that I took a long time ago when I was at a pumpkin patch of just a bunch of little baby pumpkins all in a pile. And you got all those oranges, just so beautiful. I put it as my wallpaper on my computer just because I love that color so much. But pumpkin orange, you can't beat pumpkin orange. Well, you can beat it with my number 1, but my number 2, pumpkin orange.
Pumpkin orange.
Pumpkin orange, Matthew. Can you beat that with your number 2?
I can.
Okay.
And I can do it with a song. Oh, no, never mind. So lately, for Christmas, I think I've talked about this. I got my wife a copy of Diablo 3. And for Christmas, my wife got me a copy of Diablo 3. It was like the gift of the Magi, only it involves more Wi-Fi. So it was really the gift of the Wi-Fi. And we were playing this Diablo 3. My version is for the PlayStation, so I'm playing it on the PlayStation. And I realized that when you go around, you can buy different dyes for your suit, right? You can dye your suit, and you can customize your suit and your colors and everything. But I couldn't get this color that I wanted. And I finally had to go, and I looked online, and you had to go up 3 levels of difficulty to like super hard death level, or like murder kill death strike blood force level. I don't know, some sort of bullcrap. And you had to beat a certain creature on this level, and then you could move up to the level where this color became available. So I went with my my mage. Her name is Phoenix, and I went pew pew pew, and I beat up the evil thing. And I went to the guy, and he's like, "Would you like to buy some dye?" And I'm like, "Yes." And I finally bought gold dye. Now, people will say to you, gold is not a color. Gold is metallic. And I will say unto them, because black was a color just maybe 2 or 3 minutes ago. But gold is really awesome to me because much like black, you can pair it with a lot of different things. Like when I was young, my favorite Power Ranger was the Gold Ranger, even though he was, played by a jerk. I really, really just enjoy a really metallic gold in some cases. But even when you can't get that metallic sheen, where you have something that's just got kind of a yellow golden feel to it, I can get away with those because my skin tone is basically, mid-range fat guy red. So you can wear something that sets that off. If I wear my gold yellow shirt to work, people are like, "Oh, that's a lovely shirt. Thank you. I like it."
So is yours like gold lame? Is that what it is?
I could.
Do you do the shiny shirt, or do you just have a gold colored cloth?
It is a gold colored cloth, but it's like a deep gold, like that rich color. It's not like a yellow. It's not like Rodrigo's number 3. It's my number 2. Gold.
Very cool.
Now, if you're familiar with Power Rangers Megaforce, forgive me, Power Rangers Dino Charge, the American version of the gold Dino Charge Ranger, who in Japan is Kyoryu Gold. I don't know what they call him in America because it turned me off. Doesn't wear a gold lame suit. He just has like a golden yellow brownish suit. That's the color that I'm talking about.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So go look up Power Rangers Dino Charge Gold Ranger. I believe his name is Sir Ivan.
Make sure you turn your safe search on, ladies and gentlemen.
For Power Rangers?
I don't know. Yeah, it's just a good idea to turn your safe search on.
Okay, well, I'm going to go Power Rangers with the safe search off and naked photos of Amy Jo Johnson. Well played, Stephen.
Told you. I'm not saying I know that, but, Rodrigo, we are now reached our number ones. What is your number 1 color?
What could it be?
I don't know.
Yeah, I already played out this joke, right? All the way. There's only 4 things, unless you consider that maybe that black is what happens when you mix cyan, magenta, and yellow. And in fact, the number 1 is the 4th color, true black. The blackest, darkest of black. Like you hold it up, and it's like, is this black? And then you hold it up against it, and it's like, no, it's gunmetal. You hold it up against something else, like, is this black? It's like, no, that's actually midnight blue under this light. It's like, is this black? No, Akaya's been on your lap. That's totally just hair.
Pickles the drummer. Doodly 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 doo.
Pretty much. Yep. Number 1 color. That black. It's like you pick up that cartridge from those old printers, and then you put it back down, and you realize that you accidentally touch your fingers to it, and it's there for a month. That's the number 1. And you can't touch anything because whatever you touch is going to have your fingerprints for the rest of its life.
Ethan explosion.
That is my number one. Is true black, the darkest black that you can find.
My number one is one that I've talked about before, and Rodrigo's kind of mentioned a version of it, but mine is a very specific color of yellow. It is called rapeseed yellow, and oftentimes you'll see it just as rape yellow, which makes it unfortunate. But the rapeseed yellow is kind of like this. It's not quite. It's darker than like a French's mustard.
Yeah.
Right. But it's not like a titanium yellow.
Yeah.
But it's right in there. You can go find it. Rapeseed yellow.
It's like that polleny color.
Yeah, it really is, and that's probably where it's coming from. Is from the rapeseed itself as they crush it.
Tiny undertone of maybe green just floating around.
I don't. Maybe not. I don't think so, because it's really kind of a very bright yellow. The old Aztecs, those ugly cars that came out 10, 15 years ago. Their first version of that color is a rapeseed yellow. A lot of people send me pictures of those Rumblebee trucks. That's a rapeseed yellow.
Or the Hummers tend to be that bright
my fidget spinner that I have right here in my hand is a rapeseed yellow. And I just love that color. It is my number one favorite color. If I could get a car in that color, I'd probably go for it. But
you can get a Hummer, like $8.
No, I'm not going to get a Hummer.
I'm just saying
I prefer, I really do like my Midnight Blue car. But if I were to pick three colors and put them together, it is the maple leaf red, the pumpkin orange, and the rapeseed yellow. That combo together is unbeatable and unstoppable. It is the best colors in the world. Matthew, that brings us to your number one.
Maple leaf red, I just like do.
That's maple leaf rag.
Same thing.
Not quite.
My number one.
Your number one.
My number one.
Your number one.
This is an interesting thing. A lot of times when you're a parent, you see the world through the lens of your kid and the way that she, or in Stephen's case, they see the world. Or in Rodrigo's case, bark, bark. You have, because you have dogs.
Yeah, right.
Okay, I'm just with you. You have a way to look at the world. And a couple of years ago, we started watching Power Rangers RPM. Followed by Super Sentai Gokaiger, the 35th anniversary season. And one thing that those seasons have, and by the way, my list was almost pink, black, yellow, blue, red, but I don't necessarily care for pink and blue. But, I thought that would be a good gag, and then I realized that Rodrigo was almost certainly going to go with the RGB joke. And then I realized I'm old, I'm out of touch. You went with the CMYK joke. So, yeah. But my child started seeing the world in terms of Super Sentai. And she decided that she was the cute pink ranger, and that mom was the cool blue ranger, and that Sarah was the black ranger. We didn't have a sixth ranger, but dad, who always got to drive the car, had to be the red ranger. And this is actually true. At one point, my cell phone, my last 4 cell phones have been red. Right now, I have a red cell phone with a red case because, I realized that the cell phone itself could get damaged. I have my red car, which is kind of red, but not exactly red. There was a point where the things that I would carry with me at all times were a red pen, my red cell phone, and a red checkbook. I got my wife a new purse as a gift last month. And somebody said to her in a store, "Oh, that's lovely. Is red your favorite color?" And she says, "No, it's his." And at that time, she was carrying her red purse, wearing a red dress, and we had just dyed her hair this deep red color. And I realized that as she said that red is my husband's favorite color, wearing entirely red, I have a pretty cool wife, you guys. But more importantly, red is a color that never betrays me. Not like that sneaky blue that is sometimes orange, or those sneaky yellows that slide into greens, or, you don't ever say, "Oh, look at that purple thing," and someone's going to go, "That's not purple at all. That is grape flavored," or some crap. Red never betrays me. Red is my friend. Red is my stalwart companion. And as my rods and cones continue to deteriorate in my old age, red will never leave me. Which is why, if you ever, catch me online, SmackDown versus Raw, which is not going to happen because they discontinued it. But if you did, I would be the one in the red outfit with a cobra on the chest. Which is why, if you go to my Diablo right now, my primary character, who is a barbarian named Gerbellini, is wearing this cool, bright red armor with a red helmet and red boots. And that's why my number one is red. Can I say red one more time? I think I can say red.
All right. Well, there you go, listeners. Those are our top 5 colors, ranging from midnight blue all the way up to rapeseed yellow. So many great colors right in there. Love them all.
Red.
And I bet you guys have some great colors as well. Try to be specific. Don't just say, that one color that's a little bit brighter than that one color and maybe not as dark as that other one. Go online. You can find.
Yeah, the good thing about posting your comments on majorspoilers.com is that you can probably actually find the color and post it.
Yeah. And you can either do that when you can do that as RGB values. You can do the CMYK. You can do the 6-bit colors, the HTML colors. You can do that too if you want, or just give us the real name because they can do that.
That red color from a KFC bucket, you can say things like that. We all know what that is.
Yep. There you go.
The McDonald's yellow.
Yeah. French fry yellow. That would work too, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right, everybody. That wraps it up.
Thank you your favorite restaurant. I think I may be hungry.
Thank you so much for being a part of Top 5. If you enjoy the show, had some fun with it, and you can't wait to read everyone else's list, head over to patreon.com/majorspoilers and sign up. We appreciate all of your support because it allows us to keep shows like this going week after week after week. Plus, you get some cool stuff in return. That's all over at patreon.com/majorspoilers. Until next time, remember, everybody loves a list.
This podcast is copyright 2017 by Major Spoilers Entertainment, LLC.